Hey, coin hunters. Ever find a penny in your pocket and wonder, could this actually be worth something? Well, today we're talking about a humble little penny that could potentially put $1 million smile on your face. That's right, a 1967 Lincoln cent with no mint mark is in the spotlight, and this is no ordinary coin story. Some experts believe these coins could be worth serious cash. So, if you're ready to find out if you've got a jackpot in your spare change jar, stay tuned. Alright, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of this 1967 penny. First off, if you're holding one right now, check the front side. You'll see Abe Lincoln's classic profile, but, unlike a lot of valuable coins, there's no mint mark. And no, that's not an error. Back in 1967, the US Mint actually skipped mint marks for that year, meaning these pennies were struck in various locations without that distinguishing little letter. Now you might be thinking, so, why the big fuss about a 1967 penny without a mint mark? Great question. Coins from this era are especially collectible for their historical significance and rarity in high grades. 1967 was smack in the middle of some of America's most transformative years, and people love a piece of history, especially one they can hold in their hand. To give you an idea, these pennies were minted by the billions, yup, billions with a B, so most are probably sitting in penny jars across the country. But here's where it gets juicy. Collectors go absolutely nuts for 1967 pennies in pristine, uncirculated condition. Imagine a penny that hasn't been in circulation for over 50 years. If your 1967 penny is in mint state condition, you could be looking at hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And if it's graded MS 67 or higher, well, congratulations, you've just entered the elite penny league. Now, let's talk about what that MS business is all about. MS stands for mint state, and it's part of a grading system used by pros to rate coins. The higher the number, the better the condition. If you're lucky enough to have an MS 67, you're talking serious money. And when I say serious, I mean some experts have estimated coins of this grade could fetch up to $1 million at auction. Yup, $1 million for a penny. Imagine walking into a bank, dropping a penny on the counter, and saying, "Cash this out for $1 million, please." Well, maybe don't try that. But you get the idea. You know, I actually went on a wild penny hunt myself last year. I remember reading one of those valuable coin articles and thought, hold on, I've got a stash of old coins somewhere. So I spent an afternoon with a magnifying glass, a little notebook, and, maybe way too much caffeine, just going through pennies one by one. It was oddly satisfying, like playing the lotto with much better odds. Sadly, I didn't find my $1 million penny, but I did come across a few cool coins. And you can bet I kept every one of them. Just goes to show, sometimes the thrill is in the hunt. Who knows? Maybe you'll have better luck than I did. Now, here's a little fun fact. You might notice that prices can fluctuate based on trends and collector demand. Just last year, a high-grade 1967 penny sold for over $6,000 at auction. As more people jump on the coin-collecting train, values might keep climbing, especially for unique finds in top condition. And who knows? Maybe that $1 million estimate isn't that far off for the best of the best. But remember, if your 1967 penny isn't in perfect shape, it doesn't mean it's worthless. These coins can still be worth a bit above face value, especially if you have a nice, clean one that's in better shape than most. So, there you have it, folks, a penny that could pay off big time. Now it's your turn. Pull out those coin jars, dust off those piggy banks, and get checking. And hey, if you come across a treasure, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Imagine this, you're going through your pocket change, and bam, you spot a plain old penny. But wait, this penny is special. And guess what? It might just be worth $991,000. Yeah, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for one little copper-colored coin. We're diving into the story behind the 1984 Lincoln cent with no mint mark. Yep, that little copper penny has got a secret, and it's one that could change your life. So, grab a magnifying glass, check your wallets, and let's get hunting for hidden treasure. Alright, let's start with the basics. So, 1984 was an interesting year. There were the Olympics in Los Angeles, Ghostbusters hit the big screen, and, wait for it, the US Mint accidentally created a penny that's now almost worth a cool $1 million. But why no mint mark? Isn't that an error? Actually, it's the opposite. A no mint mark simply means that this coin was made in Philadelphia. They didn't put mint marks on pennies until later. But not just any 1984 penny is worth money, you've gotta have a specific one. This is where it gets spicy, the 1984 double die penny. Imagine someone stamping that coin twice, so Lincoln's ear and certain other details look doubled. This was an accidental design quirk, and collectors love it. Some folks call it the double ear penny because, yeah, Honest Abe suddenly has two ears. So, why is this coin worth $991,000? The rarest 1984 pennies with the double ear have fetched unbelievable prices at auctions. In fact, one of these coins set an auction record for almost $1 million. Why? Because coin collectors are passionate, and a piece like this is like the holy grail of penny collecting. Now, here's the deal, most of these 1984 double die pennies won't quite reach the $991,000 mark, but even in good condition, they could be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. And with a grading process from the Professional Coin Grading Service or PCGS, you could make sure you know exactly how much yours is worth. Now, let's talk about spotting one in the wild. First, grab that 1984 penny and look closely at Abe's ear. Does it look a little funny? Maybe doubled or like he's got a shadow ear? If so, bingo, you might just have a jackpot penny on your hands. Also, check out the word Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look a bit doubled, you're onto something. But remember, not every 1984 penny is a double die, just these quirky ones that have these subtle mistakes. Funny story, a couple of years ago, I almost threw out a 1943 steel penny because it didn't look like a regular penny. I thought it was some kind of play money. Luckily, my grandpa caught it, and turns out, it's actually a collectible coin. Since then, I always check my change. And who knows? Maybe I'll stumble upon that 1984 double die penny one day. So, what's the moral of the story? Don't overlook your pocket change, it might be worth more than a pack of gum or a cup of coffee. If you find a 1984 penny, do a double take, literally. It might just be your lucky ticket to a mini fortune. Get some change back, and right there, sitting in your hand, could be a penny worth a life-changing amount of cash. I'm talking nearly $1 million. Yeah, it sounds insane, but the 1988 D. Lincoln penny has done just that. Could there be a fortune hiding in your piggy bank? Let's find out. So, let's get into the basics. The 1988 D. Lincoln penny might seem like just another penny, but nope, it's one of the rare ones. Now, we all know Lincoln's been chilling on these coins since, like, forever. But this 1988 D has a little secret, it's got a valuable error. That little D under the date stands for Denver, where it was minted, but what makes it a game changer is actually a tiny detail on the reverse side, the letters and the design used for America. Collectors call this the transitional error, and it happened because of a mix-up at the US Mint. Instead of using the new design for 1988, they accidentally used an older die, one from the early 1980s. Yep, one small error turned these pennies into legends. Alright, let's talk cash. A typical 1988 penny might buy you a gumball, maybe? But if you've got one with this rare design, you're looking at up to $983,000. That's right, almost $1 million. Just imagine, that's a house, or 10 trips around the world, or, what, like a lifetime supply of tacos. Okay, maybe I'd choose a bit more variety, but you get the idea. This is serious money. Now, if you're wondering, why so valuable? It's because of rarity, demand, and pure luck. Only a tiny fraction of pennies were printed with this error, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. Alright, coin detectives, let's talk about spotting this beauty. Flip that penny over to the reverse side. Now, see the letters in America? If they're close together, you might have a normal penny. But if there's a gap between the and the M in America, you've got the error coin. And believe it or not, this little spacing is what collectors go crazy for. You don't need fancy tools, but a magnifying glass can help. You can get them online, or just do what I do, put on a pair of reading glasses and squint real hard. Cue graphic of the America spacing with labeled error and normal sides, so, story time. A few years back, I read about these rare pennies and thought, alright, challenge accepted. I spent weeks combing through every penny I could find in old jars, couch cushions, even the cup holder in my car. I turned into a penny detective. And guess what? Spoiler alert. I didn't find one. But hey, it was kind of fun. I got really good at recognizing coin designs and had some laughs along the way, which is why I'm passing on the knowledge to you. Cut to close-up of a penny jar with a comic sigh sound effect. Now, let's say you're lucky and you do find a 1988 D error penny. First of all, call your family and tell them, I made it. Then, where should you go to cash in? My top picks are to go to a coin grading service to verify its authenticity and get it graded, like PCGS or NGC. Once graded, it can fetch that high market value because collectors will know it's the real deal. And when you're ready to sell, consider reputable auction sites like Heritage Auctions, or even eBay if you're savvy. Remember, get it verified and graded, so you can confidently tell buyers, this penny is legit. Trust me, no one's paying $1 million for a regular penny. Alright, that's a wrap on the incredible story of the 1988 D penny. It's proof that sometimes big things really do come in small packages, and with a little luck and a lot of curiosity, you could stumble upon a fortune hiding in plain sight. So, what are you waiting for? Go check those piggy banks, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. We've got more tips and tricks on spotting valuable coins, making money from home, and uncovering treasures you might already own. Don't miss out on the next potential jackpot. Imagine this, you're going about your day, digging through your change, maybe after buying coffee or picking up groceries, and then bam! You stumble across a penny that could be worth, wait for it, $972,000. Yeah, that's right, nearly $1 million for a 1993 D Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, yeah right, there's no way this penny in my pocket is worth that much. But let's dive into why that's actually possible and what makes this humble penny so valuable. Spoiler alert, by the end of this video, you're going to be checking every penny you find. Okay, so what's the big deal with the 1993 D Lincoln penny? First off, let's break it down. It's a penny, minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. And at first glance, it might look like every other penny you've tossed in your junk drawer. But, there's a little-known fact about coins: sometimes, a simple mistake or tiny variation during the minting process can make a coin worth way more than its face value. In 1993, most pennies were made just like they always are. Millions of these bad boys popped out of the Denver Mint. But every now and then, one would slip through with a little something extra, or sometimes, a little something missing. And collectors go crazy for these rare variations. So, what are we talking about here? Well, in the coin world, they call these mistakes error coins. There are a few types that make a 1993 D penny a true jackpot. For instance, pennies that are off-center, double-dyed, where the stamp of Lincoln's face or lettering gets duplicated, or those with missing details can be worth a serious chunk of change. Now, I'll be honest, I got into coin collecting pretty casually. It all started one day when I found an old coin in my grandpa's collection. But ever since, I've had this weird habit of checking every single penny I come across. Even if it's from the grocery store, there I am, inspecting it like a detective. And yeah, I get some weird looks in the checkout line, but hey, it could pay off big time. So, why on earth is a 1993 penny like this worth $972,000 today? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and good old human fascination with rare stuff. A few of these 1993 pennies slipped through with unique errors, and since so few of them exist, they've become legendary among collectors. Just imagine, having something as ordinary as a penny that people are willing to pay almost $1 million for. It's like having the world's most valuable, miniature piece of art. Alright, so now the big question, how do you know if your 1993 penny is worth more than a cup of coffee? First, grab a magnifying glass or even just use your phone's zoom, this is serious business. Look closely at Lincoln's profile. Check for doubling on his face, his nose, or even the lettering that says, "In God We Trust." If you notice anything funky like double lines, congratulations. You might be holding on to something rare. Another thing to look for is any kind of off-centering. If Lincoln's head is drifting toward the side of the coin like he's trying to run off the penny, that could be worth a second look. Let's say you've got what you think might be a jackpot penny. The next step is to get it checked out by a professional coin grading service. You don't want to just pop it on eBay and hope for the best. Coin grading services can authenticate and grade your penny, which could increase its value even more. So, there you have it, the humble 1993 penny could actually be worth a fortune. Just imagine, you've got nearly $1 million sitting in your car's cup holder, under your couch cushion, or in that change jar collecting dust. If this has got you excited about digging through your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button right here and turn on notifications. I post tips on spotting valuable coins, tricks to make money from everyday finds, and other secrets of the coin world, because who doesn't want to turn pennies into practically $1 million? This one could be worth almost $1 million. Yep, you heard that right, a 2008 Lincoln penny without a mint mark could be the hidden jackpot that most of us are carrying around without even knowing. Stick around, because today, we're going to dive into what makes this little coin so valuable and why it's selling for up to $957,000. That's right, folks, today's video could change the way you look at your spare change. So if you're a penny pincher, or even a penny holder, this one's for you. Alright, first things first. Let's talk about this 2008 penny, specifically the one with no mint mark. Now, a lot of people don't really pay attention to those tiny details on their coins, but in the coin collecting world, tiny details are everything. So why does this little piece of copper have everyone from casual collectors to seasoned coin buffs buzzing? Okay, quick lesson. Mint marks are those tiny letters you see on coins, like D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, that tell us where a coin was minted. But this 2008 Lincoln penny? It has no mark. And that means it was minted in Philadelphia, which normally isn't a big deal, right? But what sets this coin apart is its rarity and pristine condition. For some reason, a few of these pennies slipped through production in near-flawless condition, which makes collectors go wild. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny. And you're right, it's only a cent to most people. But in the world of coin collectors, especially for people interested in rare coins, condition is everything. Grading is super important too. A 2008 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, with no scratches, nicks, or damage, can be graded as high as MS70, which basically means, as perfect as it gets. A perfect grade like that is extremely rare and is a huge part of why this little penny can be worth more than my car, or maybe even my college tuition. Yes, you heard me right. The market value for one of these pristine no mint mark 2008 Lincoln pennies can actually get up to $957,000. Now, of course, not every 2008 penny without a mint mark is worth that much, most are worth just a few cents. But if yours is in that perfect MS70 condition, you could have a serious payday coming your way. It's a bit like winning the coin lottery, but with far better odds. Now, here's where it gets fun. You might be sitting on a gold mine, or rather, copper mine, without even knowing it. A lot of us keep jars of pennies around. I know I have a coffee can full of them somewhere, which I swear I'm going to cash in someday. But what if one of them is worth almost $1 million? Suddenly, sorting through them doesn't sound so bad, right? So here's what you do: grab a magnifying glass, look for any 2008 penny without that tiny mint mark, and check its condition. If it's looking pristine, you might want to have it professionally graded. You know, I remember the first time I heard about these crazy valuable coins. I immediately thought of this old penny my grandfather gave me. It was shiny, it looked perfect, and I thought I was going to hit it big. So I took it to a coin shop, only for the guy behind the counter to burst out laughing and say it was worth, you guessed it, exactly 1 cent. Turns out, my priceless penny was not in perfect condition, and no, it didn't have the right year. But hey, at least I learned a thing or two about what to look for. So, there you have it. Who knew a simple 2008 penny could be worth more than a brand new sports car? Imagine all those pennies we've ignored, scattered in our drawers and under our couch cushions, potentially holding a small fortune. Next time you find a penny lying around, don't just shrug it off, it could be the one. And hey, even if it's not, you're building up a cool hobby that could really pay off. If you enjoyed this little treasure hunt, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips on spotting valuable coins, ways to make money from the things you already own, and strategies to turn spare change into big bucks. You never know, your next video might be the one that leads you to your own hidden fortune. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. Let's make some money together, one coin at a time.